Let's go to the Apostle John right now. John, wow. He is, at this point in time when he writes this, he is the only surviving apostle. All the rest of them have been killed. None of them died a peaceful death. They were all killed, martyred. He's been put into prison. He's lost his livelihood. He's lost his home. He's living probably in Ephesus or somewhere in the Greek world. He's by himself. He has no house. He's living with somebody else. Somebody's having to take care of him. He's probably 90 years old. It's worse than being in a nursing home. And here he is, and his thoughts go back to Christ, go back to Christ. He is overwhelmed by Jesus Christ, and he writes this in 1 John chapter 4, verse 15, to those people at Ephesus who are in the very shadow of all kinds of idolatry, just like you are if you're living in the United States. The idolatry, that the things that we worship, I mean, sex and things, we are pagans and we're hedonistic. So he writes that, and this is what he says: whoever, 1 John 4:15, whoever, there's that inclusive-ness. It doesn't mean that you got to be white, doesn't mean you got to be yellow, doesn't mean you got to be black. It says whoever. Doesn't mean that you got to be from Asia or Africa or Europe or the United States. Whoever. Doesn't mean that you have to be whatever. Whoever confesses that Jesus is the Son of God. That is an amazing thing, and the only way you can know that is by the power of the Holy Spirit who convicts you of that. You just know that it's true. Whoever confesses that Jesus is the Son of God, God abides, or we would say God lives in him. So if you confess that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, then God lives in you, and he lives, or he abides in God. You live in God. If you confess that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, that has been revealed to you by the Holy Spirit of God. You can't do that on your own. That you can't convince yourself of that. So John says, if you believe this, if you really believe this, and you confess it, in other words, you live it, you live your life like Jesus is the Son of God. It's not only faith, but it's actions. It's truth, but it's movement. So whoever believes and confesses, then God lives in him, and he lives in God, or she lives in God. When we said whoever, we are so overwhelmed by sexual connotations in the West. Listen, I don't know what your preferred pronoun is, but right there he said whoever. That's a preferred personage that we're talking about right now. So he's saying my being, my very breath comes from God, and it goes back to God. God puts the air in my lungs, and he causes it to come out, and it comes out with a confession that Jesus is the Son of God. So what this does right now, this speaks to us about the essential, and I know this is kind of complicated, and some of you I know English is not your first language. This was written in Greek, by the way. This speaks to the essential nature of our relationship with Jesus Christ. So when we confess the basis of the gospel, then that says to not only others, but it says to heaven, and it says to eternity, and it says to us. We are encouraging ourselves that we belong to God, and that God lives in us, and we live in God. And so it is affirming that Jesus is not only a historical figure, but that he is the Son of God, that he had pre-existence, that he lived and ruled before the foundation of the world, that he knew you and chose you before the foundation of the world. He has been active in this world since creation, And when he made you, he created you. He has been active and he continues to be active in your life, in your being. And after all the world has passed away, his word, his nature, his heaven, Jesus Christ, and you will live forever and ever and ever. So as we confess this, this speaks to our uninterrupted, eternal communion with Jesus Christ. An unending confession that explodes into all eternity. So I invite you at this time to pull away and meditate on this great truth and examine your heart. Who lives in your heart? Who speaks through your life? Whose child are you? And I pray this simple confession by faith will bring a much greater love and knowledge of Jesus Christ for you. And so right now, let's start thanking the Lord. There's something about thankfulness. Let's thank him. Let's thank Jesus for knowing us. Let's thank Jesus for choosing us. Let's thank Jesus for guiding us. Let's thank Jesus for loving us and dying for us and living forever and ever. And so may you be blessed and experience the person of Jesus Christ. May you be blessed and experience the presence of Jesus Christ. And may you be blessed and experience the power of Jesus Christ in your life. Thank you so much, and God bless you.